welcome to another interesting, fun-packed and insightful episode of Unfiltered here on Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice. As you already know how we do it on the show, you know I don't do this alone. It's not even possible. It has never happened. I'm always here with my beautiful, my gorgeous and delectable co-hosts. Give it up for Anne. Did I get you right? There's this particular way they pronounce your name.
Anne. Don't worry, our guest on the show today knows how to pronounce it very well.
Anne,
Don't unveil him yet. Thank you so much, my darling.
You're just changing here.
Sarah, are you not a billionaire baby yet?
Me? Billionaire, please don't do that.
Can you see the color? Like, it's not the usual color. Like
this
everybody else.
This is just a normal color. I mean, there's no big deal. You guys, is there any big deal with this color?
This is the normal color. This is the
human hair, packing gel.
All right. Hello, everybody. You're welcome to our show today, Unfiltered Show. It's a young adult show here on Dominion Television. And if you've not been following us on our social media platform, especially on YouTube, you're not following us, you're not liking, you're not commenting, you're not sharing.
It is wrong.
It is wrong. It's a criminal offense under the law. If you're not following us on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and on X, formerly Twitter, you're not following us Dominion Broadcast, you are wrong. You're absolutely wrong. So for you to be a fan of Dominion Broadcast, you have to like, comment, share, and you know what, interact with us, send your topics, send us what you want us to talk about, like comment to every of the shows that we bring to your face, and we're going to love you. Don't worry, we'll buy one GLE for you. Sarah will buy one GLE for you.
I was waiting for you to say that, but you didn't hear that from my mouth, so yeah.
Can you please tell
them?
So
just more emphasis to what my beautiful co-host has said. So last week, I realized that some people were coming to my DM on WhatsApp. I mean, bringing their comments. You people, please, you want us to be kneeling. There's YouTube. I mean, you can watch us on YouTube. There. Drop your comments. Like, let it start rolling.
Feels like they're shy.
Don't shy. I will see your faces on YouTube. I'm not seeing your faces. So please drop your comments on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
However, on today's show, our topic is one that may or may not stir your curiosity. But we are here to give you some basic understanding on the topic. So we'll be talking about the different gender roles across various ethnic groups in Nigeria. You heard that right. Exactly. Because Nigeria is home to over 250 ethnic groups, and each one has its unique expectations for men and for women, how they work, how they lead, how they raise families, and of course, contribute to the society. So today, we'll be exploring how different cultures define gender roles and how these roles have changed over time. I mean, from the inception of time, from the inception of our beingness in this country or in this part of the world to this moment. However, you know how we did, of course. My co-host and I are not alone on the show. We have Annie.
Come on now. Okay, you want me to do
a fine man.
Thank you so much.
Dark looking.
Don't unveil yet. Don't show me yet.
Don't show me yet. Let's keep going.
Should I do the proper way?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we have an amazing,
let me just keep
handsome, fine young man. The host on Daybreak on Dominion Television. Whoa. You've not been following that show. You've not seen an intelligent, spontaneous, delectable, handsome. Oh God.
Glowing.
You've not been following us on Daybreak.
Oh.
You are wrong. Because this man, he brings, let's not go too further. His name is Anuoluwapo Idowu.
Ezekiel. Welcome on the show. He's a television and radio presenter, cool and of course a leadership coach. Leadership coach.
Have you heard him speak? Guys,
hey, why you
need to hear him speak. Don't worry, we're going to move it.
You guys are not making it easy for me.
How?
I mean, I'm feeling so shy right now. Like, I can't even look at the camera.
No, don't do that, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. How are you doing?
Welcome.
I mean, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Absolutely. It's so good to be with you guys today to have what we call a feast of reason, where we can exchange ideas and all that today. So.
And it's so good to have you here as a leadership coach, and not just a leadership coach, a presenter, broadcaster as well. So I like it when we hear views from people like you. It really gives us this, more. And he's a huge fan of Unfiltered Show, actually. So let's give it up for you.
Welcome on the show. So our topic today is gender roles, the different gender roles across different ethnic groups in Nigeria. And we have it that over time, I mean, before colonialism, I mean pre-colonial societies in the country, the likes of Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, and the others. I mean, I don't like saying others because it's making it seem like these others are minority groups. So that's how we have supposed it to be so. Please, my apologies. So before then, we understand that these ethnic groups have their different gender roles, right? For Yoruba pre-colonial society, they have their own gender roles, whereby the fact that women actually occupy some certain, let me say, some certain royal positions, Iyalode, Iyaloja, and all of that. The same as Igbo, the same as Hausa Fulani. Hausa Fulani is the only different, ethnic group in this case, because theirs is, they don't really give women the privilege to, occupy some, space and contribute to the society. So the question I'll be asking, I mean, we're in the post-colonial era in Nigeria. How would you, so before I ask my co-host, of course, I'll be asking you, how would you relate the recent, where we are living right now, the gender roles, this disparity in gender roles compared to what it used to be like way back in the 90s across these ethnic groups? Do you think anything has changed whatsoever, or is just still the same thing?
Oh, well, there are different angles to this particular conversation, but I think I would come in from the aspect of the fact that I'm not a Gen Z. I mean, if it's okay to say that I'm not, but I do have Gen Zs as friends. I have Gen Zs as family members and all that. So, but I can say I have an advantage of time to have been able to witness what happened in the 1990s and what is happening now, because I'm still alive apparently.
Thank God.
And, so I'm saying that there's been a lot of changes over the time, over days and hours and days. But that's exactly the case, because when I was growing up, it was a different conversation to what we have now. And why? I would say, sometimes I ask myself, what makes the difference between a Gen Z and a millennial? It's basically the exposure to other cultural norms.
Yeah.
Now we get to see China from here. I can sit in Nigeria. I know what's obtainable in the US, in Italy, in China, across the world. I don't need to travel out to know what is obtainable in those regions. So just by the use of my phone, I can see everything that's happening everywhere. So we are more exposed to different norms, different cultural norms, different cultural ethics and all of that now than we used to. So there's been a lot of changes as it is, and it's affected a lot of things too. Not to say that is not good, but if you trace it back to, there are also variations across the nation. For example, you mentioned about 250 ethnic groups in the country, Nigeria. Yeah. That's quite massive if you consider it. That's massive. So if you consider that to be a thing, we have major ethnic groups, we have minor ethnic groups, but every ethnic group has its norms, its cultures, its traditions and values, and some of the things they believe in. And so I've had the opportunity of also traveling to some other states. I've been to the north, I've been to I've been around Southwest as well, and I've seen what is obtainable in different places. But one of the things I think a lot of people are moving for is what they call gender egalitarianism. And that's just a concept that says that every gender should have equal opportunity, should have equal standards, should be on the same platform to say whatever A can get, B should get. Whatever goes around should come around. Wow. So that's exactly the conversation right there. But not to take it away from the question you asked me rightly, is to also maybe pinpoint the fact that there's been changes over time. From 1990s to 2000, there's been another change. But maybe some persons will have the advantage of telling what happened in 1980s that I'm not also privy to. But from research, from history, we know there's been a change. Yeah. What an average woman will feel like these days is not what they used to feel like. What an average guy would say openly is not what before, is not what you would now say. Because if you say it, I'm so sure Gen Zs are coming for you.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Annie, what do you think?
I'm usually going to say what you just said, that a lot has changed. The things that used to be then, some are no longer in existence now.
Of course.
Like, okay, take for example, I heard one story. Well, that's this story. I think my grandmother told me when she was talking about how women offer food to their husband when they get back from work, like putting water in the bathroom for them, preparing their meal and serving them and all of that. But I don't think we have that in this era where the wife has to like tell the husband, oh, you're welcome, there's water for you to take your bath.
I mean, there's shower now. I don't have to set the shower for you.
They do say then, but like it's no more. So a lot has actually changed. So I really can't say that what we are doing now is bad, or maybe what they did then is bad. So it's just exposure, actually. So that's what I'm going to say.
I love your responses because you guys have literally said what I would say. But I would just add to it that I feel like there's not much of a difference then and now. But the ethnic group that I'm more concerned with, that I feel like the difference is not really significant, or it's not really obvious, is the Hausa Fulani, the Northerners. Because what it used to be then, I feel is still the same now, but it's in a subtle way. It's not so obvious. Then it was more obvious. I mean, we still have the old ideology. I know some of their female girls, they still go to school. You see them in universities, in colleges, and all of that. But the fundamental responsibility of ensuring that they marry them off to some man or to some guy is still rampant. I mean, they are still doing rampant, that right now. So I don't really think there's so much when it comes to this particular ethnic group that I just mentioned. I don't think there's much difference actually compared to then and now. But for Yoruba, for Igbo, and for the other, just like he said, minor ethnic groups, I would say there has been, maybe disparity.
I still feel they've changed, because they now live, they no longer live with their people. They are not more exposed to other. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say. You can find them amidst us.
Okay, of
course. Do you understand? So they are really more exposed to the things that we do, and they're really like, oh wow, this is actually very nice, and they really want to learn. Do you understand? Some of them, they go to school. Then I don't think that they do go to school like they do now. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So education in some way has kind of fine-tuned their way of thinking, doing things, and all of that. So I would not say that they've not as well changed. Some of us too, when it comes to the Yoruba.
Well, I'm saying they didn't change, right?
But they are fundamental, the basics are still there.
The basics are still there. And whatever we make the public or people out there to feel like they've changed is because what they are practicing now, what they are doing now is in a subtle way. It's not as pronounced as it used to be there. Yes, but it's still in place, actually. They're still doing it. Do you agree?
No, I was going to wade into that to say, you guys are right. And the fact that we are discussing this from an outside person perspective is a lot of difference, because if there was a guy who grew up in that region that is sitting here now, he probably would say something else that is different from what we're saying. Not to discount the fact that there's been a bit of change, or there are changes from what they used to experience to what they now have. But we can also tie that to exposure, education. A good number of them now get more exposed. They now get education much more than before, because if you consider, I think I did a bit of study around the number of schools that were in the northern region of this country at the time, and I discovered it has skyrocketed from what it was before. So you can tell that there are people now go to school, maybe not as much as we have in the southwest, for example.
I don't think so.
So those could be, maybe that's why you guys are, trying to say, oh yeah, this is, there's been a lot of change, there's not been, but we can all agree that something is cutting across all the regions of this country, and that's exposure, that's education, that's social media as well. They have phones now. There are a lot of, have you seen some Hausa content?
Of course, yes.
Amazing ones too. They showcase their culture. Sometimes they also do some stuff that are not so good, but that's even for another conversation. Everybody can actually be found doing one thing or the other that might not be good based on the social media influence that they're exposed to and all that. But we cannot take it from the fact that they are also experiencing, or they've experienced a change over time. And it's going to be, it's a global world now. It's a global community. I have friends who are both, like we call them. I have friends who are white, basically white, and we talk almost like every week, that kind of thing. We now relate with them. Sometimes I think I was speaking to one of them, and I was saying that there's something you notice about Nigeria, that Nigerians are indirect communicators. For example, if I need money and I'm sitting with and I'm sitting with someone, and I might not say directly that I need money.
Of course.
I might just say that. I might just say, yes, exactly. I'll say, Toby, Nigeria just hard today, like mouth is dry. There's nothing in town. I'm trying to tell you that, but I don't get money. So I'm going, Toby, where you go now? Maybe I work out with you. All of this, you see, is indirectly trying to say I need money. But an average Oyinbo person will come straight to say, hey guy, can I get something from you? It's so clear, because we are, and why is that? It's because of our culture too. Our culture has respect. If I want to speak to, for example, I want to Mr. Shitu, I won't say Shitu. I won't relate the way I would relate with you, because I know this is someone obviously older. So that superiority advantage is there for him. So I would not, talk to him anyhow. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that is also a thing to consider in this kind of conversation. And I think I just wanted to say, you guys are right to say there's been a lot of change, but the same way everything is changing is also affecting them as well.
Actually, yeah. So leading to my second question, and I think I'll be asking my co-host first.
Okay.
So looking back at what our gender roles used to be in different ethnic groups, and now, do you think like the modern Nigerians, I mean us, he said he's not a Gen Z. Gen Zs are millennials anyway. Do you think we are remodeling those gender roles? I mean, those perspective of what gender roles used to be, or the responsibility, the gender roles itself. Do you think we are remodeling it, or we are just repackaging it? However, note that before, when I started, I was like pre-colonial African states. When pre-colonial ended, the colonialism came forth. And when colonial era came, the Westerners brought in their own way of civilization, their norms, their traditions, and all of that. So do you think what we are practicing now is just like we are remodeling our old traditional ways when it comes to gender roles, or we are just repackaging what our own used to be, and the like Westerners and what they initiated?
Okay, I would say that two things: we are repackaging it, and we are trying to build our own system. Really, because take a look at this. We're in a world of social media. We watch things going on every day. Then I can actually say that I think there was one time I was discussing with someone that if there was social media then, I think things would have been more worse than it is now. But the only reason why it's not that bad is because they don't have access to technology. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I feel like now we are more exposed. We know things, we feel like we know things better than it used to be. So that's why I'm saying we are repackaging, and at the same time, we're trying to build our own system. Because somebody will tell you that, why is your brother in the kitchen? Why are you not in the kitchen? And you're like, Asao, is he not going to eat? Do you get that kind of thing? Somebody will tell you that, why is a woman preaching in church? Is it not supposed to be a man's responsibility? And you're like, okay. Who brought that? And usually those are the things they practice then. So I would say that we are remodeling, and at the same time we are building our own system to let people know that what you had then is your thing, but now we are making things much more better. Because I think nowadays we have some people that they still behave like they're in the past. You still see some men threatening their wives that, don't you know that you're supposed to do it this way? Don't you know you're supposed to act this way? We still see the way some fathers treat their children. And I still heard about somebody telling his daughter that she's not going to school, that she would end up in the kitchen. And I'm like, 21st century.
You should not shock you.
It did shock me, because I'm like, we are in the 21st century. Do you mean there are still some people that still don't believe that a girl child is supposed to be in school? So I feel like for the average Nigerians, well, let's say average at this point, but I just feel like we are remodeling, and at the same time, we are trying to build our own structure, really.
I think before I ask Mr. Anu, I would like to, chip in I'd like to continue from what you said. And I'm so excited because I think this is going to be the first time Annie and I will be on the same page of the show. So yeah, it's a win-win for us. So I feel like I agree with what you said, that we are repackaging, because I don't even think it is actually very feasible and very real, because we went through colonialism, and it's not possible that we are not going to have their cultures and their norms or some of their values in us. I mean, it's just a blend of ours and theirs. But the problem, where a problem will be, or where a problem can start occurring, is when we abandon, or we're making it seem like we're abandoning our own indigenous traditional norms and all of that, and we're embracing theirs. But I feel not everybody, but in some part of the country, we are repackaging it actually, because some people actually, they've abandoned what we believe our own indigenous ways and all that. So Mr. Anu, what do you think you have to say?
Honestly, you guys are tempting me to. When you mentioned the last thing you did, I'm tempted to get into that conversation because I've always believed a lot of Gen Zs also have found their way doing some stuff. They scoff at tradition, especially the African tradition. They scoff at it. They denigrate the tradition, but while doing that, they adopt another tradition without vetting.
True.
Yeah. So you see an average boy, an average girl, an average boy, for example, piercing, dreads and all of that, doing all sorts. And you want to wonder, this same person is the same person that is saying, I don't like my African ideology, my parents, they don't do well, I don't like it when men wear this and all of that. But the same person is going a step further to do what an Oyinbo, or should we say Black American guy is doing, not vetting that particular culture, but that's not even the conversation. You mentioned about the pre-colonial era, and I'm going to speak to that very quickly. If you know anybody by the name Moremi, raise your hand. I'm just going to ask you guys, if you have you heard that before?
I've read about.
You heard Moremi?
Like, of course, I read about
so
but we cannot be so sure that nobody
that.
in the whole of Nigeria doesn't bear that name. I mean, have we explored, have we been to all the places in Nigeria?
All right.
I think I don't know the Moremi you're talking about, but I've read about it.
The Moremi now, the warrior.
Exactly. Yes, there's a Moremi, there's a warrior. If you go to universities, in OEU, for example, you see there's a hall that was named after her, Moremi. If you know about Oya in the Yoruba climb.
I've heard of Oya.
You guys have heard, so.
We are Gen Zs now, we know all these things.
Okay.
So
I give you about that Gen Zs. Oh, great.
But I'm trying to take it back to the pre-colonial era because there's an analogy, or should we say there's an allegory that people push forward to say, way back, women in the climbs, in the Yoruba climb, for example, will not be given a chance to speak.
Yes.
There are yellow days. If you go to traditional settings, there are yellow days.
Yes, now.
There are all of those people that are women leaders and all that, and they have functions as well that they also do in leadership, in governance, and every kind of facet you want to speak about a nation. So that is also, so we can establish those facts to say there have been notable figures around our society that were women. So that is true. However, a good number of women don't get to that position until they are ready to die. I'm saying not die in that sense. I'm saying until they're ready to, until they're ready to give it their all. If you don't go all out for these kind of things, nobody will recognize you. Because averagely are expecting you not to come out. That's why we talk about the cultural and the social expectation around our communities. They say, for every man, everybody's expecting you to behave some way, somehow. For every woman, everybody's expecting you to behave. So it brings a lot of pressure, especially for you guys. Well, some of us also don't deal with pressure well. So it causes pressure on that end too. But like you also mentioned, I think I'm going to pitch my tent where you pitch yours and when you pitch yours to say that it's okay to say that we are also recalibrating and we are adding some of these things, which is more important. It's better to add than to let go of what we have and take something else that is not ours to become ours. Because there's something positive in our culture. No, there's nothing you want to tell me that the culture is not good. Now we are getting back to the age people are now wearing all those buba, all those big wears that our, Ofi, what is Dansuki,
Kampala.
all of those kind of dresses, we're having it back now. And it's actually a theme we should encourage, we should celebrate. And that's what I want to say, that we are integrating all of these systems and we're making the best of it.
Actually, thank you so much.
That's interesting. Because really, I feel like he said it all, because there's something so positive about our culture, and it is that don't let me say much actually, because this topic is really, really interesting. I'm not going to lie, and we need to learn more when it comes to distance. So right now we are going to be checking our fun fact segment. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from last short break, and we hope you enjoyed our fun fact segment. However, it has been a whole lot of discussion. I mean, I've learned a lot. We have learned a lot, actually, and our guests came really prepared. It was just ditching and ditching and ditching. I mean, it was such a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. Really, thank you for gracing Unfiltered with your presence, with your intellectual presence.
Yes,
actually. Insightful. So today's discussion reminds us that Nigeria's diversity is one of its greatest strengths, even when it comes to gender roles. So, and understanding these cultural differences helps us appreciate where we come from and imagine a more inclusive future. On today's edition of Unfiltered, thank you so much for joining us. And until we come your way next time, Rumi, bye.
Bye.